Well, good afternoon and welcome. My opening comments will be brief, and then we'll open it up to questions. But excited about the opportunity to bring in a new head football coach, and certainly Gary Pinkel and his staff have made this a great job. And so again, I want to thank Coach Pinkel and the staff. It's a great job for a lot of different reasons. I think in terms of recruiting, there's a great base for recruiting here in the state of Missouri with St. Louis, Kansas City. I think it's been well documented in terms of the ability to recruit in the state of Texas, and then certainly with the move to the SEC, Florida, Tennessee, and Georgia most recently. I think if you're a young man that lives certainly in the Midwest and wants to play in the SEC, and why wouldn't you want to play in the SEC, the best conference I think in the country? You're close to home if you come to Missouri. So for all of those different reasons in terms of recruiting, I think it's a great job. I think you can win here. Coach Pinkel proved that. 5 division titles in the last decade, 2 East divisional titles as well, and I think we can even take this thing to a higher level, I believe, and compete for a national championship. I really believe you can win a national championship at the University of Missouri, and what head coach wouldn't want to do that? The commitment to winning, certainly just beyond what has been done here in the past, the proven winning, but the university administration and President Middleton and Chancellor Foley, everybody is 100% behind this search and wants to do what's right for the university and what's right for this football program. And so we've got certainly a lot of support from the university, and our administration is 100% behind this. Certainly facility improvements in the past several years. And then also the Football Operations Center will and has been a number one priority for us. And then finally, and I can probably speak to this better than anyone, is the community of Columbia. Just in terms of the 6 months I've been here, what an unbelievable place to live for a head coach and his family, assistant coaches, their families, and just great people here in the community of Columbia. So, questions?
Mac, you arrived after tremendous success in the American Athletic Conference at Houston. You brought 2 of your top assistants, Mr. Baker and Mr. Bradley, from Memphis in that same league. What are your thoughts on coaches Tom Herman at Houston and Justin Fuente at Memphis?
Well, I mean, I'm certainly partial to Tom Herman since I hired him at my previous institution. I think he's a terrific coach. Okay, and Justin Fuente is another terrific coach that has won a lot of games at a place where it's hard to win. And but I want to caution everybody. I'm not locked into any certain candidate whatsoever because it's about fit. With all due respect to Tom Herman, does he have that same success at another school? He was a great fit at the University of Houston. Justin Fuente, a great fit at Memphis. So for us here, it's about fit. I'm not, into, the hottest names out there, and those are certainly 2 of them. That doesn't mean that they'll automatically come here, be a great fit, and win games here. I'm more about, winning games, winning championships, and finding the coach that can really do that over the long haul.
Mac, legend has it that ADs keep a list in their wallet of candidates at all times. First of all, can we see that? But really,
Let me answer that first. No. All right. We all do have a list, and probably mine's on the 3rd drawer behind prospect of head coaches. So.
Well, more seriously, in a certain odd way, this has happened abruptly, but also you had some advance reason to be thinking about this after Gary told you in May. What kind of impact did that have on you kind of marshaling your forces about getting ready for this?
Well, when Coach Pinkel told me about his health concern in May, and as time proceeded along, certainly didn't believe that it would come to where he resigned, as he did. But late October, when he told me that he was going to resign, absolutely, we begin to do just some internal research on potential names, candidates of that sort.
How will this search be conducted? I mean, a lot of people use search firms, all that. How will you go about it?
Yeah, I haven't decided yet on a search firm. I've used them in the past, and I've also not used search firms. So we'll think through that. There's probably some search firms, some other institutions that have had a head start and that are using particular firms. And right or wrong, I'm not sure I want to use a firm that's already been used by another institution. If I use one, I want them 100% thinking about the University of Missouri. I want them eating, sleeping, drinking it. So we'll know here probably within the next 3 to 5 days whether or not we go down the road with the search firm.
Yeah, we talked about it, the right fit. What are some of the characteristics that you'll be looking for?
Well, what's interesting about searches and most everybody, if they're let me backtrack a little bit here. Certainly, somebody that's a leader, somebody that has CEO type qualities, somebody that's been part of a program, whether as a head coach or as an assistant coach, they know how to win. They know what it looks like, what it takes to win. And so I think that's really important for me. Somebody has a great ability to put together and assemble a staff, and the alignment of a staff. And I think that is so critical, particularly in the sport of football, that somebody could come in, high quality, high character people that work well together. There's no egos. It's about our student athletes. It's about our team, etc. And that's hard. That's not easy to do. And I think if you look at a lot of failures in terms of head coaches, you can point directly to the staff. And so this person will have to be really, really good in terms of doing that. A relentless recruiter, somebody that loves to recruit and an insatiable appetite for recruiting, has a proven track record of that. And then I think somebody that, if I had a son, I'd want them to play for him, because I know that this head coach is going to be extremely demanding, and is going to push our student athletes to the very best that they can be. They push them to make sure that they're the very, very best football player they can be, but more importantly, the very, very best person they can be.
Talking about staff, I mean, this is a place that's been known for its continuity under Gary. I mean, is that something that with the new hire you would push at all, like keeping some people around or maintaining the staff at least partly as it is or anything like that?
And that is a really, really fair question. I think a head coach coming in, you're never going to handcuff them. The next staff is absolutely their discretion. I've been at places where that new head coach has come in, and yeah, there's some value of keeping 1, 2, 3, 4 staff members, and so I think it's to be determined here. I will ask the head coach that the new head coach to sit down with each and every staff member and visit with each one. So.
Matt, kind of along the lines of something you were addressing at the start, you're obviously stressing the great points of the job, but do you expect you're going to have to answer some questions about the turmoil of the last week, and are you able to share anything about how you might try to respond to that?
Well, do I expect to have to answer? Sure I do. I think it's something that we'll sit down with each candidate and certainly give as much specifics or provide as much specifics as we can. But also, I really believe this. This is an opportunity for us to get better, and we'll spend a lot of time on how I think this makes us better as an institution, how I think this makes us better as an athletic department.
Will that hamper your ability to attract candidates, you think, as you recruit people, the racial tension on campus and the football team's recent boycott?
No, I mean I don't. I do not believe it will hamper us in any way. And I think if we can sit down and get in front of candidates, we can certainly have some great discussion about it, and certainly why we think it will make us better.
You mentioned experience. Would you be open to the idea of hiring someone who has not been a head coach at the FBS level?
Yeah, I'd be open to hiring the best guy. And and that could be an assistant. And searches are a journey; they really are. And I really enjoy doing them. You meet some just unbelievable people. It's about, again, fit. I never go into a search locked in on any one particular candidate. You just don't, because I think it can close your mind to maybe that other candidate that's a better fit. And so we'll go into this and with an open mind.
Mac, because most of these people obviously have other jobs, I mean, do you expect this to last at least 2 weeks after conference championship games? Do you have an idea?
No idea. I mean, it's I've never put a timeline. It's so fluid in terms of who that candidate is, and is their team going to a bowl game? Is their team playing in a conference championship game? You certainly don't want to be disruptive to any of that. There's other schools out there that that have had a head start, and so you take that all into consideration. But I've never put a timeline on it. I don't have an opinion on offense and defensive background just from this perspective. Again, for me, it's about the right coach. There's plenty of examples out there of a defensive coordinator that's been extremely successful as a head coach, and there's plenty of examples out there of offensive coordinators. And here's what's interesting. And think about this, that your head football coach isn't necessarily coaching football, okay, or on the field coaching. The head football coach is really coaching your coaches, okay, and running a program, much like a CEO. And so you're talking to an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Well, what are they doing? They're coaching on the field, and yet a lot of them may have very, very little experience with overseeing the totality of all of the people and the student athletes. And so we're really going to be focused in terms of who can be a great leader.
Coach Finkel's success and the continuity of the staff, there's probably a case for continuity of some sort, and among other cases for a lot of things. I just wonder how you try to work with that or interpret that or process that.
Again, I don't get into any one component because again, we can sit here and talk about, well, if it's a certain coach and it brings the most continuity. If that's not the right person, it doesn't matter. In terms of the future success. So all I'm locked in is about the right person.
How much of an impact will age factor into your decision?
None.
How is the approach to a search change when you're trying to recruit candidates to an SEC program versus a program in the American?
I think candidly, here at the University of Missouri SEC school, your candidates, probably a majority of them or most of them, are going to be head coaches somewhere else versus maybe at a group of 5 school. A lot of them are coordinator candidates.
Mac, I know you have spoken to the team. Can you share anything about what you told the players, about the next few weeks, and have you spoken to the current staff about what their future might be?
So spoke to the team, and I think the message was it's going to be all right. Okay, that it is, and certainly that we're empathetic to what they're going through. I mean, they've got relationships with these position coaches, and this isn't an easy time for them, and wanted them to know that we certainly understand that. But at the end of the day, we're going to hire somebody that's really going to care about them as a person, and again, be very demanding and push them to the limits in all facets of their life. And so that was probably the primary message. And then yes. I think today I finished up meeting with each staff member individually. Met with the staff as a whole that Friday night in the hotel, and again, some of the same message that this is going to be okay, and we're going to do the best we can through the transition, and all of those types of things. So.
Sorry, Mac, you kind of had a head start on all this in terms of trying to look through candidates and do your research, but considering there are other schools that are in a similar position, do you see it as a little bit more competitive because there's more schools that have also gotten their early start on their research and vetting candidates?
Yeah, I mean it is. This is a very, very competitive year in terms of just the number of openings, and again, I think we're going to see plenty more openings, unfortunately, and for those particular individuals. And so that candidate pool maybe not is probably not as large as it has been in the past. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell the University of Missouri, and to me that's easy to do for all the reasons I've already talked about. This is a great job. People want to be the head football coach here, and so. Given the competition, we'll still go out and find a great next head coach.
The salaries paid to coaches in this league just keep going up and up. Do you have an idea of what you're going to be able to offer, and will that change based on the candidate?
It will change based, depending upon their experience, where they come from, all of those different things. Absolutely, and we'll be competitive. Again, we've certainly committed. To having a very successful football program in terms of resources, whether that's operational budget, recruiting, travel, all those things, assistant coaching salary pool, something that we're going to talk about and make sure that we're very competitive in the SEC, and then also certainly the head coaching position.
Is there any stigma against hiring a coach that is new to this program and paying him more than the coach who just retired? I mean, but it seems like that might be something that would have to happen.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't look at that. It's market driven, and if it's the right guy, we'll need to pay what we need to pay.
Your predecessor usually he had like a 4 or 5 man committee when he did coaching searches. Will you do it that way, or is this a 1 man deal?
This is not a 1 man deal. I'd like to think that that I'm perfect, but I'm not, and. I do like having 2 or 3 people with me that I really trust, that are great strategic thinkers, and most of all, I think they're great at reading people and assessing people, and so I'll have 2 to 3 that will be with me through the process.
Matt, did you learn anything in particular from the process of hiring Tom?
Yeah, that is at the end of the day, you can sit here and maybe call every potential reference, talk to folks that are well vetted in this industry. You can look at analytics, all the past records, but at the end of the day, it's a gut. It's really a gut feel, and again, it comes down to really fit. I do, but I won't share that just for the integrity of the process. So they don't want you calling them. So.
You mentioned you like the challenge, and you have to go through it. Is this a chance for you to kind of make your mark? I mean, you've been here, you've started your work as an AD, but the ADs are judged on the hires that they make.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think about that stuff. I don't. I don't worry about any of that. I'm just focused on getting the best person. Did I anticipate doing a head coaching search 6 months, into my tenure, particularly in football? No, I didn't. But that's what we have to do, and unfortunately, and I say that unfortunately because of Coach Pinkel's circumstances. But it's a great opportunity for us, and we're going to move forward and make the best hire we can.
For a couple more, guys.
There isn't a Rooney rule in college athletics, but do you see a value in interviewing a minority candidate, whether or not it's somebody that might have been at the top of your list?
again, I'm not going to talk about particular candidates, but there are some great minority candidates out there, and I won't talk about whether or not we'll interview one or the other. But in terms of value of interviewing, yeah, I see great value. I mean, I see great value in hiring or interviewing the best candidates out there.
Has that changed with, just given the racial tension of the last week, maybe looking into that anymore?
No, not at all. That's been my philosophy for every head coaching search I've ever done.
Mac, you had people talked about the other key jobs that have opened up. What do you think makes Mizzou stack up well to the other jobs out there, and what do you think you could use to sell Mizzou that another school might not have?
Well, again, I think I answered that in my opening statement. I think the ability to recruit, the fact that you've been able to win here, the SEC, the commitment to facility improvements over the last 2 years, the football operations center, number one priority for us in terms of facilities. Columbia, great place to live, all of those things. So I think that makes this a special job. I think it's one of the best available in the country, and I'll leave it at that.
One more. Given Gary's longevity here, I mean, do you go into a coaching search saying, I want to find a guy that's going to be here 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is, or is that, not a factor?
Not a factor. I go into it, and the candidate is going to win games and develop our student athletes.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Mac.
Thank you.